I am gonna do this short live because I have stopped fuck, so many times to try and do like little short videos and then run them together, and it never works out. Right now, I'm recapping. So much has happened. I don't even know where to begin. So I just finished answering some comments, and I gotta say, I like the haters. I mean, they make people watch the videos more, which is always fun. But to catch y'all up on real life shit, so Lonnie, do you have me like on? I am dying to know who you are, honestly. You are like number one supporter. So, yeah, there's a lot of fucking shit that has happened. Obviously, y'all saw my Kenny. Oh, I on a real note, I kind of suffer now. I've never been in a wreck a day in my life. Like ever. Never, never, never. I never crashed into anything, never had anybody crash into me. I don't fall. I'm just not that I'm not that clumsy. I don't know. I just those kind of things don't happen to me. And because I was so like settled, I was here in my bunk, I was cooking my dinner, and have something like that happen, now it's almost kind of like PTSD. Like if I hear loud screeching sounds, I was in an area of the desert just last week. I've been out here now for 6 weeks straight, and I'm not scheduled to go home until July, where I'll go on vacation to Cabo finally. Um and I'm doing a relaunch of the book. My podcast is out now, so wherever you download your podcast, whether it be iHeartRadio, Pandora, Google, iTunes, Spotify, just look up Dysfunctionally Functional and look up the cover of my book. I talk about a lot of the topics that I talk about in the book, and just talk about a lot of real shit that I think needs to be said. So you can check that out. That's over. I just uploaded some stuff on my other YouTube page that is specifically for all of my personal stuff. But I just felt like an asshole for not checking in with y'all. And I actually did make this really, it ended up being like 40 something minutes. Um, but my phone, I've made y'all so many little videos. My phone was like, look, bitch, you need to get rid of some shit. So I went, bought an SD card. But to be perfectly honest, I have been driving literally like most days. I will start driving at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because Costco has these weird times where they want us drive. Look how long I've been out, y'all. My nails look like some ass. So y'all gonna have to deal with it. Sorry. Um, but Costco has us delivering at like 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Some of them are 2 and 4 and 6 in the afternoon. And so sometimes when I'm going to see you, well, I don't know who you are or where you are. Um, So I don't know. I'm all over the place. This week alone, I did 3,100 miles. Top driver at my terminal. Kudos. And I'm still got energy. I'm still good. Um, I got a lot of questions about the weight loss. That has to do with a major surgery that I had to have. And to the people that are paying attention to one of my mentors who had a tragic encounter with a snake. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I do not follow that motherfucker at all, but because of the videos that I did when I was on his truck, his feed automatically comes up in my stuff. And so when I saw him in the hospital, I was curious. I was like, what happened to this fucking joker? So I clicked on it, and it was like, homie got a snake bite. I had literally been bitten by a snake at the Houston terminal, non venomous, of course, because I'm still here kicking ass. and I had sent the picture only to my family. And so whenever my son saw that this person was in the hospital with a snake bite, he was like, "Mom, do you think that, like, he, like, somehow got into our phone?" Like, he's such a conspiracy theorist. I was like, "Fuck no. Karma's just a bitch." And apparently she came in the form of a snake and gave him what he deserved. So, even his new students at the company that he was at, they were reaching out to me. And again, these are people that I do not know. Not that I don't care about them or care about the information that they have to relay to me. I just don't put energy into him and his bullshit, okay? I was on the truck with the guy. He's a fucking loser, and that's it. Homie couldn't end anybody's life if he tried, if he had $1 million. And so that's how I feel about that subject. So I answered those comments. Um, yes, he is instinctively and audaciously like obsessed with my videos. So maybe it's a good thing I haven't had a chance to upload. So, um, whenever I try to do the SD card and move all of my videos and photos over to my MacBook, I'm never sitting still long enough to where it's not cutting into my sleep because now I do the podcast twice a week. I'm working on the second book. I have some stuff going on with Netflix. I'm like all over the place. So, and I drive 2 shifts in a 24-hour period. Well, it winds up being like a 36-hour period. And now I'm recapping, which is insane. I didn't plan for this. Y'all have seen my videos and know I don't really care for recapping, but because of the miles that I've been putting in, they keep giving me more miles, and I'm not going to turn down my miles, especially when I'm going to take a week off um, in a couple of weeks and go celebrate my 20th year anniversary. Yes, I am still married, so there was a lot of questions about that. People are catching up with the videos. Um, and just to back up a little, the reason I addressed that sorry sack of shit in the first place is because there's a lot of people that are just finding my channel and leaving a lot of hate comments and calling me, asshole this and I'm got too many problems, fat fuck this, that, and the other. And I just wanted to address that issue. I did message those individuals personally. But obviously, your girl's still here. I'm still at the top. Um, my brother is actually, he started Swift Virtual Academy today. So if you've watched my videos from the beginning and you haven't signed up with Swift yet, I cannot tell you other than what my brother has gone through, what the process is. I do know that the first week is virtual and you can actually do your permit test virtually. It's time they watch you. Like you have to have a front facing camera. If you look away, like there's not a way to cheat. They will shut it down. But my brother, for those of you, for a little recap, he was homeless. He was displaced by the hurricanes in Lake Charles last year. My mom's a piece of shit. She didn't tell me until she actually started caring, which winded up being in December, and Laura hit in fucking August. And she called to tell me that the last she heard was in June that my brother was sleeping in his truck at different truck stops. So, I don't even know her phone number, don't know where she lives, don't care whether she lives or dies, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but you know what? Everybody has their limits and their vices, and if you've read my book, you already know she is a POS. She's the reason that I say, "See you next Tuesday." Do you have to do the class on the new tablet in the classroom? I don't know what they're doing about Zonar. I just took my mentor stuff. I had to do a mentor class or whatever. I finished it last night. And I think they're gonna leave it up to us mentors because the macro system still works the same. All the macros are the same. Macros are like little emails that you send them, and they're numbered, and you need to know which ones you need to send for what and this and that. But that's up to your mentor to teach you. So you're not really gonna learn too much. What you learn at the academy is what you need to learn to get your CDL. So they will tell you that often. People will be asking, when are we going to go on the road? When are you going to show me how to do this? When are you going to show me how to do that? Hey, girl, I have been in Harupa Valley like literally every other night, but I literally pull in at like 2 or 3 in the morning and I head out like I'm waiting for that 10 hours to turn, or I do 8-2 splits and I'm doing 2 shifts going back and forth from Colorado to Utah, Colorado to Utah, Colorado to Utah. I mean, California, Utah, California, Utah, Arizona, Nevada in the mix. I did Donner Pass today, which is my favorite. I know a lot of people hate it. And I've got 45,000 pounds of canned goods back here. It was a blast. Um, but the next time I get over there, because I practically live there, I told the guys there, the planners there, I said, you know what? I need to just have a PO box here at the Harupa Valley Terminal because I practically live there. Um, but yes, I will definitely. It looks like if I can get them, I don't like recapping, so if I can, it looks like I might be recapping in Westlake Valley, Utah in either tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to try, but if they keep throwing miles at me, I'm going to keep taking them. So I could be back in California. I was in Harupa Valley just yesterday, and now I am in somewhere in Nevada. But anyways, um, what was I saying? Zonar, that's going to be left up to your mentor. So when you go to the academy, they're going to teach you how to do straight line backing, offside backing, offset, offside. I don't fucking do it out here, so I forget what it's called, and parallel parking. And then they're going to take you because you obviously have to do a road test. But so I had quite a few instructors, and JV Jackson, if you go to Corsicana, try to get him. He is the absolute fucking best. And I still keep in touch with him daily. And his father, Robert Jackson, is the guy at Lancaster who actually. So, whenever you get your CDL and you're off to Lancaster to go wait for your mentor or whatever, you also have to do, when you get done with your, is it before or after? I think it's after your mentor, maybe before. I don't fucking remember. It's been 2+ years. Either way, when you get to Lancaster, you're going to do, before truck assignment, you're going to do another road test with them. You do 2 lefts, you do 2 rights, you do a back. Mr. Jackson is the best. I will be in Ontario Friday morning at 8 a.m. for an interview drive to. Hey, go girl. Y'all got to give it up for Eileen. Y'all really do. Show her some love. Find her on Instagram. She stuck it out. She stayed the course. Some people get it right off the bat. Some people struggle. But as long as you stay the fucking course, this job is so rewarding in so many ways. Um, and I'm super proud of her. I love you, Eileen, and I cannot wait to meet you. I need to actually, uh, I'll DM you when I get off of here on Instagram. I'll give you my phone number so you can just text me, because I barely have time to get on social media. What was I saying? So the Zonar system is going to be left up to your mentor. All they're going to teach you is what you need to get your CDL. You do not go to trucking school to learn how to be a truck driver. That is up to your mentor to teach you. And honestly, your mentor is really there to teach you the ways of the road, how to be safe, what's compliant, what's not compliant, um, what Swift wants from you, what DOT wants from you, and you really, really hone in on your trucking skills once you get behind the wheel yourself. So, my brother started virtual school today, but it did come back that his hair follicle test, he was positive for amphetamines, and we knew that that was a possibility because when I got him, he had been homeless since August of last year. And I got him, I had to file a missing persons report. It was a whole situation. And the Lake Charles Police Department found him in January. And then I brought him home to Houston. And he hadn't been on any of his medications whatsoever. A lot of the hospitals and stuff there, because of COVID and then because of hurricanes, it was just a really fucked up situation. And unfortunately, people were not able to get medical attention unless they had COVID. Hi, I'm catching you live right now. Hope all is well. I'm in Lancaster. Wish I were in Houston. I heard it's nice there next time. I love Houston. They're finally building our terminal in August. They said that we will be able to actually park on concrete. I am out here. I've been out here 6 weeks now, straight, and I'm not even scheduled to go home until July 2nd. So, um, Houston is a crap terminal right now because they're sharing with Central, but they have started situating the Houston terminal. It's directly across the street. I am in where the fuck am I? Mills something, Nevada. Um, what was I saying? So, the amphetamine thing, they knew that my brother was coming on. I'd been talking to the recruiters with them and stuff like that. And because of my reputation with Swift, they were very, very eager. So, how do I make this a really short version of the story? It looks like he's going to go to Pam. Our doctor, the doctor that I work for, she is his doctor. She has him on all the medications. Oh, the city and people. Yes, Houston, amazing, amazing town, or city, I should say. I don't particularly care for Texas, but when it comes to diversity, people, safety, and just all inclusive, as far as entertainment and culture, Houston is an amazing, amazing city. Not too much really going on in Lancaster or Dallas. Sorry that you are there. Um, the recruiter told me that, if we could get a letter from the doctor stating that she did put him back on his Adderall. He does suffer from ADHD, as do I. As y'all already know, I talk in circles. Um, but I use it to my advantage. That's how I have 11 certifications and 4 degrees in all different things. Um, I master everything that I do, but she used to want me to take Adderall. I never wanted to take it. I don't think that I have ADHD. I think I definitely have ADD. But needless to say, when we were getting my brother back on track, he was put on his Adderall. That was back in January. I took him to the doctor immediately. He had some infections. He had been homeless for a while. So I wanted to make sure that all was on the up and up. And just talking to him, she put him on anxiety medication, which is not bad, but she did put him on Adderall. And whenever he was on the truck with me, I kept trying to tell him, you're not going to pass the hair follicle test. You'll pass the piss test, no problem. But the hair follicle test, like he was even breaking them in half. And he was just really, really having a hard time just kind of focusing on studying for the permit and stuff like that without his Adderall. He is a person who doesn't abuse the drug, who actually needs the drug, where some people take it to get high. If you actually have ADHD, you don't get that high, whatever people feel. Whenever she put me on it, I felt like I was like the Energizer Bunny, and I don't like that feeling. So, um, my brother had already started looking at Pam. I mentioned Pam to him because the people who failed drug test, whenever I was with Swift for through hair follicle test, Pam does not do hair follicle testing. And so we've always kind of had Pam on the back burner. And I told him, I said, look, I can get Doc to write a letter, but Swift said that even with the letter, they would want to wait 90 days to redo his follicle test. So I will not be mentoring my brother unless something changes. Swift was willing to pay for his sleep study, his CPAP. Like, they know that I'm going to train him, and they know that, my record speaks for itself. I put in the miles. My driving score is a 0, which is perfect. And I take care of business. I have a 100% success rate. I've never been late. I don't have any issues. And I would train my brother to work just the same. And he is a hard worker. And I would love for him to, come over to Swift because Swift is a great company, which is why I'm still here. And they take care of their people. But my brother has been at my house on my couch since January. So there you go. He's just tired, he's fed up, he wants to go to work. So it looks like he'll be going to Pam. So that is that. As far as my Kenny is actually being worked on, which y'all, when I say that I cried, I felt like I was walking away from a relationship. And I've been with Swift for a little over 2 years now. And I have driven plenty of fucking trucks. I have driven all 4 of the trucks that they offer. And something clicked. Sorry, I ate Taco Bell earlier. Something didn't go down. Um, I know I'm totally disgusting. But when I met my Kenny, I named her right off the bat, and I just looked at her like in awe because it's very seldom that solo drivers get the Kenworths. You need to be a mentor, a million-mile driver, a diamond driver, blah 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 blah, owner operator, lease, whatever. I had already made arrangements to lease Kenny, and I was on my way to go lease Kenny. Y'all already know the story. But Swift actually said that because my Kenworth, hey, Walmart fleet, are you, bleh, hold up. Are you dedicated? And if so, whereabouts do you drive? I drive for Walmart, Costco. Oh, I fucking hate Kansas. It's one of 2 states that I won't go to. Only because I was racially profiled there, attacked, and my mentor, who was a young black man, um, before the whole George Floyd thing, I watched my second mentor get treated that way with the same thing, the boot on the neck, and he was pulling gravel out of his mouth. So fuck Kansas. Not you, just Kansas. Garden City, Kansas, to be specific. Um, yeah, that was a situation. I'm not allowed to talk about it, so it is what it is. But as for the wreck, I made a video about the wreck. All the videos got deleted somehow whenever I was trying to put them on the SD card. So the Russian guy actually winded up hitting some other people in the same parking lot. The motherfucker had the nerve to park 3 rows down from me, like 3 spaces over. He took up 2 spaces, had 3 people helping him, and he still knocked off a hood mirror and the driver's side mirror of the truck to the right of him. So the cops went ahead and took him on because I had already like went incarceration style. I was in here in my chanclas, in my underwear with my shirt, comfortable making my fucking wagyu steaks, living my best fucking life, talking to my daughter in Virginia on Snapchat. I cannot explain the sound, the fear, And I already suffer from PTSD from my life, but now when I'm at truck stops, if I'm at a terminal, it doesn't really bother me as much, but I find myself I have to take ZzzQuil now. I had to get a sleeping medication, and an anxiety medication because loud sounds, if the wind blows my truck too hard, I am so terrified of being hit again at a truck stop. It just freaks me out. Um, but because Kenny had electrical issues in the beginning and she didn't idle and she winded up being in the shop for 8 weeks, and because I had already got the paperwork rolling and was going to go ahead and lease, and really I was going to buy her, um, and come on as an owner operator. I wasn't going to do the lease to own program. I was just going to buy her. Um, there's been so much time and effort put into it. And my driving team, whenever I talk about Kenny, I either get really excited or really teared up because I cried. I got flown home to Houston. They flew me back to Phoenix. They put me in another Kenworth. I went to Walmart, which if you've ever been to the Phoenix terminal, Walmart's literally behind the fucking Swift on the next block. I went into Walmart. I came out. I turned on my truck. It only had 17 miles on it. And all of a sudden, it went from like I had def to no def, and it gave me something called an SCR thing. The truck would only go 5 miles an hour, and it's a safety, not a safety feature. It was some kind of electronical default. That truck was going to have to go back to Kenworth. So Swift is having a shitload of problems with the 2020 and up versions of Kenworth. But my Kenny had already been worked on. She worked all the kinks out, and so Swift deemed her salvageable, and I will get her back in about 4 months. They are having to rebuild her whole front end, but they are saving her for me, so I will get her back. So that's the update on the wreck. I don't know what happened to the Russian guy, could care less. I hope he fucking drives off a bridge. Facts. He was a cocksucker. I came out in my chanclas when I threw the curtain back. I wear, they're called boxers. They're women boxers. They're super fucking comfortable. They don't even sweat like guys are always you sweaty balls and all of that. These things they are water resistant. Um, and I don't know how they repel the water, but they do. I've actually been downpoured on, and I have a very expensive Swift. I mean, not Swift, Swiss, like military grade duffel bag that I use for my hygiene whenever I go shower. That thing has vinyl on the inside. Like it is military grade. I paid a shitload of money for this thing. Even that thing soaked that was inside of my bag. That's how bad of the downpour it was in Lamar, Colorado, about a month ago. And you know what? My Walksers, even with my soaking wet clothes, looks like somebody threw me in a pool. My Walksers were still dry. So when I flung back the curtain, I was in my Walksers and t-shirt. I did not give a fuck. I will never get that image out of my head. I just won't. And the shaking back and forth, not to mention I was holding my Ninja, which is like whatever, it's metal all the way around. It was 500 degrees. It had been on for 10 minutes. And in the Kenworth, because I had my brother, I had my snack thing there where the table is, and that's plastic. So I only had a step stool to put the Ninja on. So when I first got rocked, all of the stuff that was stored on the right side like started hitting me in the face and the head. I had bruises all over the next couple of days. But to me, I've been in the truck when there's tornadoes and it was like a loud screaming, screeching kind of sound, and it just kind of blew my truck one way. And then there was a pause. So I let go of the Ninja and I was like, oh, thank God my hands were burnt. Um, and my first instinct was to just unplug it. Not that it's going to make it cooler faster, but that's what happened. And then all of a sudden, my truck started going the other way. So then all of my shit from this side starts falling this way. So long story short, homie tried to actually get away with hitting me. Um, the camera on the dashboard, it caught everything. Watch one of your videos. You said you hold up. How do I get it back? All right, I have a question for you. Young lady. Oh, I wish I was young. I am so old, but thank you. Hello, it keeps going away. One of your videos, you said you no longer use the bill of lading. How do you get paid? I don't know why or what I would have said that for because that is how I get paid. If you can tell me the video and like a timestamp, I'll go back. I talk in circles. I do have ADD, so you may have caught it at a weird time where I'm circling back to the point. Sometimes I never get to the point until the following video. But no, our bill of lading is how we get paid. Um, I'm trying to think of why I would have said that. Mm, you don't have to scan them anymore. You can just take a picture of them. With the Zonar, you can just take a picture of them and then you just throw them away. So I may have been talking about that if it was a most recent video because bill of ladings are oh, and being contactless because of quarantine. It must be a recent video. Um, on the Costco account, and there's some other accounts. You can ask for what's called a blank paper. I'll actually show it to you. You can ask for what's called a blank paper. It looks like this, and you fill in your own shit just so you have something to scan. But all Costco needs, they set it up to where it's completely contactless. You show up to Costco and distribution center, and you already know your trailer number and stuff, and they don't even ask you. They just say, "Hey, you know where to drop your empty, you know where to pick up your loaded." And they all they do is ask you on your way out. Yeah, you just take a picture of it on the app. So the app is still in the beta process, meaning that they're still putting it together, but that part of it does work. So that's what I was saying. You snap a picture of it. So I think in the video, I couldn't show you because I was using the tablet, but the app on the phone shows you everything that you can see on the tablet. And so if I was to go to my phone and hit loads on the Point app, then I would just click whatever load I'm on and it says scan document. It gives you a thing, commit to load, committed, reject the load, and then it says scan loads. You hit scan load and it automatically takes you to a camera, and then you just take a picture of it, send it, boom, you're done with the paperwork. You're done. And they do a lot of the places are requiring that you do it within like a couple of hours. You used to have 24 hours to do it. Now they want it done like pronto. I'm OCD, so I do it before I even move on because I don't want to forget about anything. But there are some places where we just get like a sticker when we get to Costco that just has the person's name, the time that they started unloading, and it's literally just a sticker. And we just put the trip number on there and we take a picture of that and it works. Um, so, yes, in that aspect, we don't need our bills anymore. You just take a picture of it and it goes. As long as it says send, it'll keep an inventory of it electronically through the app. So you don't have to worry about them saying, "Oh, we didn't get this, we didn't get that." It's fail proof. Thus far. If that changes, I will definitely let you know. But you don't have to keep up with a bunch of paperwork and shit anymore. You just throw it in the trash. Um, so I'm in a 2022 Freightliner. I think y'all saw that. It had 6 miles on it whenever I got it. I think today we crossed the 11,000 mile threshold. Now, this baby has been in the shop too a lot, 11,688, and I've driven her a total of well, she's been in the shop quite a few times for different weird shit. It's all electronical. The more technical, I mean, the more technology they try to put in these systems, in these vehicles to make them safer, it's fucking up everything. Like, I'd rather drive an 86 Peterbilt, to be perfectly fucking honest, but that's just me. Um, so this is Franny. I named her after my grandma 'cause she's a tough old bitch and I love her and I miss my granny. I miss my mama so much. But I'm not attached to her all that much, really. Kenny, I get emotional when I think about Kenny. So I'm happy to hear that Swift thought enough of me and enough of my Kenny um that they're putting the money into her to get her rebuilt. So, yeah. So Franny is doing fantastic. She had some brake issues. She had another weird issue right off in the wiper motor was out. So I had to drive from Georgia during the fuel scandal where they like hacked the pipeline and we couldn't get fuel. They literally were only letting us get 65 gallons of fuel and you had to pray that you fucking made it to the next couple of states over. The whole East Coast was out of fuel. It was a fucking nightmare. But it was also raining its ass off, and my wiper motor went out for whatever reason. So it was in the shop for that, and then it had a axle seal leak that was causing my brakes to catch fire, and then it had another electronical issue. So this one's been in the shop a lot too. But now everything is fixed, everything works, everything's great. But she knows that she's temporary, and we're waiting for Kenny. And yeah, I'm just working on now that I know that my brother is not going to be coming back on the truck with me personally. He's going to be driving just with a different company and have a different mentor and all of that jazz. I have settled into my routine. My podcast uploads twice a week. I try to do Monday and Saturday, but today is Monday, I think. I don't fucking know. I don't know what today is. I'm pretty sure it's Monday. Yeah. And I'm talking to y'all instead. So maybe tomorrow. Don't know. But y'all can check that out. It's called Dysfunctionally Functional. So yeah, I'm still working on all of that stuff. There were some people that were asking about the second book. Obviously, taking in my brother. Um, he's like a son to me. I raised my siblings, but me and my brother are the closest, and then we have a younger set of siblings. We're all blood related. We just there's a decade gap between my younger sister and my younger brother. So it's always been EJ and Alicia versus Junior and Teresa. So I'm super close to my brother, and I'm glad that he's put in the work. He hasn't given up, and I mean it is a minor setback, but it happens. So I told him, I said I wouldn't wait the 90 days. Pam doesn't do hair follicle tests. Like, just go. You've already passed everything with them, and I think that he'll appreciate it more. I've carried him this far. I think that he'll appreciate it more when he does it on his own. And I just want to make sure that I'm there when he gets his truck assignment and he takes his first load because I'm going to cry like a bitch, like a mom at a graduation, because my brother has just really, he's been through it in life like I have, but in different ways. And to see him come so far and to work so fucking hard for this, I'm just excited for him and it makes me blush. I'm trying not to cry. But that is really all of the updates. I have been running crazy fucking hours. Like, I never fucking have time to really do anything. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Sorry, I have all of your messages, I promise. I just really just don't have time to be doing anything. I barely get my podcast in, but those are important because the launch of the first book was botched big time. and we couldn't do the book tour because of quarantine. The whole first team had to be fired, and I ended up doing it myself. And then it winded up when it got re-released. It winded up getting picked up by a big publishing company. So now I'm on deadlines that I'm keep having to put off, but the podcast is helping with that, and there's a lot of other things that are in the works. So when I'm driving, it's crazy. Like I said, sometimes I start at 2 in the afternoon, and then I'll finish usually around 6 to 8, and then I'll sleep maybe 8 to 9 hours if I'm lucky. And then I get up and drive like early in the morning until about noon. And then I go to bed, and then I get up at like 8 and drive through the night, and then go to bed in the morning. And it's been hella crazy. Hella crazy. Um, I've had to do some really tweaky shit with my clock to make some of the loads work, but at the end of the day, it's about getting the people what they need. And right now it's hurricane season down south, and a lot of the wood. Oh, thank you. I cannot wait to sit down and be able to just listen to your stuff again. You're so inspirational. And a lot of your words have really kept me going sometimes, especially dealing with my brother at home. Oh my God. But your girl's tired. I was supposed to start resetting day before Saturday, and today is Monday. So, anyways, that didn't happen. And here I sit. So, I think I've caught up on everything. Um, where you can find me, all over the place. So, I particularly drive west of 35. They really want me on a craft account east of 35, and I'd be home every weekend and all these miles and this and that. But I thoroughly enjoy the Midwest and West Coast. I have a lady friend. I love her to pieces. She is on the West Coast. Her and her family are in Oregon. So whenever I'm on the West Coast and I reset, I do get to go home to my home in Oregon. And then, of course, I have my home in Houston. But that's personal business. That's nobody else's business. So it is good to have a place in on the West Coast since I spend most of my time there. And Swift does a really good job of getting me when I am gonna reset. They make sure that I get as close to where she is in Oregon as possible. They even Uber me to where I need to go. Like hands down, I can't say enough about Swift. Um, there are some terminals that I'd rather not deal with. Ugh, my God. But they hate me as much as I hate them. But they can't complain because my driving record speaks for itself. And when you come out here, the shirt that I'm wearing, my daughter made it for me. She takes a lot of things that I say because I talk so fast, but some of the little nuggets that I leave, this one says, take pride in your trade, but check that shit behind the wheel. And on the back, it has an 18-wheeler and it says hashtag stay humble. And that's very important because I do take pride in what I do. And I know that I'm badass at what I do. But I know that there's always going to be something new to learn. I've never been rejected. A load of mine has never been rejected. That happened to me this morning. I was doing a favor for Lathrop, California terminal. Ugh. Sorry, Swift. Lathrop, they don't got it going on. Y'all need to send me there for a week to teach those motherfuckers a plan. Anyways, um, I picked up the load. The guy was like, if you do me a favor, I'll pay $50 just to take it. It was only from, where was it from? It was there at the yard, and it was just going to Stockton. It was literally 7 miles up the highway. I was like, no big deal. And then my load that's going to Salt Lake City, Utah tomorrow, was right around the corner from there. Well, I get to the place, I'm early as usual, but I'm the only Swift truck there. I see a whole bunch of Gardner trailers. I see a whole bunch of owner operators. There's a parking lot full of trucks. I walk up there and the dudes are like, the like workers are like laughing at me. They're like, what the fuck is Swift doing here? So long story short, um, I don't know who Swift's customer service representative made this appointment with, but it wasn't with that company. And yeah. So I got turned away. I still got paid the $50 because I did my part. So they have to honor that. And I went back and took it back and then just got they're gonna T-call it and they'll figure it out. It's not my problem anymore. But I've never had a load get rejected. So here I am 2 plus years in and still learning new shit. So, I do take pride in what I do, and my brother cried a couple of nights that he was on the truck with me because he was just so proud of me and knows that our father would be extremely proud of me. And my dad is with me every single day. And coming from all of the different backgrounds that I come from, I take a lot of pride in this more so than any other thing that I've ever done because it's what keeps America moving. So, if you come out here just for money and you're doing it just for money, you're not going to be fulfilled because you actually don't start making good money until you learn how to run. And you only can learn how to run by doing it. You have to gain the respect of your peers, but more importantly, the people who are above you, who plan you. And I have built a rapport with the people from the East and West Coast. I picked this truck up in South Carolina. I literally started in California, Route 66, and went all the way to Carolina to pick up this truck because Phoenix was out of trucks. It happened. But you have to come out here for the right reasons. If you want a career change, sure, try it out. But if you're coming out here because, there is a lot of money to be made, just know that, it takes time. The permit is the hardest thing. It's a lot of information. Um, but once you get your permit, you don't ever have to do it again. But you do use that information every single day. That's facts. Um, Another thing, if you're on certain medications, if you have sleep apnea, if you have high blood pressure, if you have diabetes, if you're insulin dependent, there's so many things that they're cracking down on because, a lot of people are like, "Oh, truck drivers are fat, they're overweight, they're always got plumber's crack. How's this dude getting in the truck? Oh, he's wearing flip-flops and his feet are hanging over." I watch Bonehead Truckers too. I like Ike Stevens. I promote him. I even have a Bonehead Truckers mask. But I really don't care for him making fun of overweight people in the business because one, they've probably been here for a really long time. And two, I don't I don't necessarily know where they're passing their DOT physicals because we have to take those things every 2 years. I'm sure that they're paying somebody to keep them driving, but when it's your lifestyle and it's who you are, how do you walk away from that? Like, I feel like if you took the truck away from those people and you took the road away from those people, I feel like they would go and commit suicide. Like, that's how much trucking is in their DNA practically. So, I'm not saying that you have to come out here and be like a super trucker. Y'all know I fucking hate super truckers. But do know that it takes time and you are going to have to build a rapport. And it's not just with Swift, that's with any company. Eileen does not work with Swift. Eileen worked somewhere local in California that worked for her, and they were really good to her and patient with her. And now she's out there doing the damn thing. So, do what works for you, do your research, and Just know that shit happens. I have bad days where I just like just like anyone else, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I would rather travel the world, be a motivational speaker, and I still dabble in wine, and I have a thing that I'm working on, and that making a career change from driving school because of the bug between the next 2 months, if God willing. Oh Jesus, you got like corona or like something different? I don't know many people actually that have had corona. When I was working at the clinic, I was able to find out and pull in some of the patients that we had back in October and November that I was able to prove that corona did not come from China and corona's been here since the fall of last year or 2019. We had patients that we couldn't explain what they had. Excuse me, they were in the hospital, they were on ventilators, they didn't have pneumonia, they didn't have flu. Long story short, I brought them in whenever we got the antibody testing, and sure as shit, they had, and they hadn't had corona since corona hit. Um, so medical research is always going to be a part of my life, but take care of your health first. Mental health always at the top for me. I am a huge mental health advocate, and when your body is stressed, your mental health is stressed. So to me, everything goes back to mental. So whatever you're going through, hey, yourself comes first. So do that. That's what's most important because this job is very dangerous. People drive like it's Daytona 500 in California, and on the East Coast, it's fucking NASCAR. And I know that I say that completely backwards, but that's how they drive. Um, so that's all the updates for now. I did not mean for this video to be so fucking long, but haven't chatted with y'all in forever. And like I said, I'd been making so many little videos, trying to stream them together. It is I have been everywhere all the time. I drive 2 shifts in a 24-hour period. Fuck, I'm everywhere. Right now, I was in Utah yesterday, went through Nevada, Arizona, back to California, SoCal, and now I did a load this morning, picked up another load, and now I am in Mills City, Nevada, and I will be in Salt Lake City, Utah tomorrow. And then from there I go back to California. But yeah, it's been a minute. At first I could not talk about the wreck. So Swift follows my channels. Um yes, I am doing all right. I'm doing great. My Kenny is being rebuilt. Swift deemed her salvageable. Have you thought about being a trainer? Okay, so here's the deal with that. I actually finished my mentoring situation stuff, so you gotta go through this whole thing. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, I couldn't take corona anymore. I had to come. The only reason I took a break from trucking is because of my medical conditions and I had to have more surgery and I'm sitting down right now, so I look normal size, but y'all, if y'all were to see me in person, I look like a fucking meth addict. I'm not even joking. Like skin and bones. It looks like somebody took the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and just melted him, and underneath there was like Skeletor. That's what I look like. Sitting, so that's why I'm purposely sitting down. It makes me look more thick. We'll go with that. But anyways, um, I forgot what the fuck I was saying, honestly. I was wondering why you look different. I only weigh 169 pounds now. Um, I had to take medical leave If I stand up, watch, just my shoulders. I purposely still wear baggy clothes. Um, so Brody Jenner is a friend of mine. I'll just throw it out there. Nobody has to make a big deal about it. Hopefully nobody knows who he is. If you don't watch reality TV, you probably don't. Um, but I had an event to go to that was invitation only. I won't talk about. Whoa, my truck turned on and I lost y'all. Stop, stop, cancel, go back. How do I go back? Can somebody let me know if y'all can hear me? There we go. I got y'all back. Sorry, my truck is. So the Freightliner, there we go. The Freightliner, you can set up the optimized idle like you would do your air condition at your house. You set the temperature that you want it to, and the truck turns on and off so that it saves on fuel. And Swift actually pays you bonuses every month. So Swift has actually updated a lot of stuff. I'll have to do another video whenever they give me time off. Um, Swift has updated so much stuff. They are paying so much more incentives for driving safe, for driving your ass off, for saving on fuels, on the what's it called, miles per gallon by not idling, and the I forget his name, but Mr. Knight, whatever. He said, he made a really good point. When you go to the grocery store, even though it's 118 degrees outside in Arizona, you don't leave your fucking car running. You take the keys out and you turn it off and you go. These trucks cool down really, really quick. So Swift gives you incentives. So every month, you can actually sign into your app, to the driver website, and it'll show you your projected bonus for the following month. And it shows you all of the little bands you need to hit so that you can get those bonuses. So I get all my monthly bonuses because I drive like a fucking crazy maniac. But for those of you who worked with me, September through I had my surgery. They found the tumor September 9th. I got out. I got off the truck. I went to the urgent care where I was, and I had to be flown home. It was a serious situation. And my already when I first started with Swift, I had already had bariatric surgery. I had had the sleeve done as a way to combat my lupus, fibromyalgia, and all this other shit that I had going on. I've never had a problem with food. I've always been a really healthy eater. I've always been athletic. I danced. I've just always been really athletic. I like running and stuff. But now, like, I have like shoulders, my collarbone, like it's it's just fucking weird to me to like see my bones again, and this is going to be really disgusting, but that's just my arm, so you can only imagine what the fuck my abdomen looks like. So I was actually scheduled to have surgery, skin removal surgery, in January, but I winded up having to, in order to get rid of the mass that was under my gallbladder sitting on my liver, they had to stop the acid erosion. It was eroding my esophagus. And so at night when I would be sleeping, whether I was at home or here on the truck, I was throwing up bile and acid, and it was fucking up my voice. It was just wrecking my life. So, long story short, I was forced to have gastric bypass because that removes your stomach acid. It makes your stomach about this big, and it sits right up underneath your sternum, breastplate, for those of you who don't speak um, medical jargon. And the other part of my stomach is just kind of hanging out there. But all of my clothes are super big. This is actually a large. I actually wear a medium now. But all of my clothes are super big. I bought my first outfit, since my first surgery was in 2018. I went to Swift 6 months later. I'd only lost about 50 or 60 pounds at that point because of surgery, and when I had surgery, on the day of surgery, I was 369. I'm not gonna show you my baggy ass clothes. I showed you my collarbones. There you go. But no, I'm very little. Like when the wind blows, I actually sometimes kind of have to like get my bearings, because I'm only 169 pounds now. I'm still gonna lose probably about another 40 or 50 pounds, and then um, they have a computer model thing. I'm gonna be about 120. So I'm not really excited about that. 180 was my goal, and I was at my goal whenever I was ready to have my skin removal surgery, and yeah, shit didn't work out that way. So 120 it is. Whatever. I'm healthy. I'm active. My stamina has never been better. My endurance has never been better. Um, the compression garments and stuff like that, just fuck it. I've already lost so much weight. I've lost 200 pounds. So, um, yeah, it is what it is. But, so there have been people that have run into me, and because I wear the mask all the time, they don't know, especially at Harupa Valley. People see me there all the time, or when I go to Phoenix, and they don't know whether they can approach me or not because I look so different. If you just scroll from the bottom of my videos, just scroll, you can just see literally the weight just falling off. Um, but like I said, I'm healthy. Your voice sounds far away. Probably because I had you on the hot thing. But I have to go to bed. I'm not in any big kind of hurry, but because I like to, get paid. This isn't the latest it can be there is the 14th. No, that's today, Teresa. The 16th at 7:45 to at night. I'm actually gonna deliver it tomorrow at 12:30 because Miles is kind of why we do this shit. So that's a good example of coming out here and choosing how many miles you can take. When you come out here, unlike my first mentor who forced me to, he knew I had been up for almost 2 fucking days and put me in the seat. I still did it. I'm gonna do my job to the best of my ability, but as many people said in that first video that we did together, that I look like a hostage victim. I kind of felt like one. Um, and every student thereafter, which is why he's not with this company anymore, and probably never going to be with another trucking company ever. Um, you build your stamina over time. So going back to the mentor thing, I finished my mentor classes last night. I just sat down for 2 hours, just knocked them all the fuck out. I'm thinking about it. I will say that. Since being hit while sitting still, like, I think that the PTSD or just triggers that I have after being hit, whether I would have been moving or not moving, either way, being hit, it just kind of freaks me out. But more so, I'm a control freak, and I don't need a control freak anonymous class. I am a control freak. I'm Hispanic. I'm Native American. Um, it's just a part of who I am. And my anxiety, my paranoia, and my PTSD, even like if my husband picks me up somewhere, if my girlfriend picks me up somewhere, when they come to meet me to pick me up from somewhere, they automatically get the fuck out of the driver's seat because they know they're driving. So
I don't even let people drive me around like at home. The only way you're gonna drive me anywhere is if I'm intoxicated, because I don't drive intoxicated. Um, Being in the medical profession, uh, enough said. Um, I just don't like being out of control. So I will say that, and I'm just throwing this out there. If you happen to live in Texas and you can go to Corsicana, where Mr. J.B. Jackson happens to be right now, and if you're lucky enough to get him as an instructor, because he is the best that they have out there, and then you get to you do your road test at Lancaster with his dad, who is amazing. Um, if Mr. Jackson will tell me, hey, this person has my seal of approval, they're gonna do good, I would mentor that person. JB is the best. I had a lot of instructors. I've become friends with a lot of instructors, and we kick it outside of school and work. But as far as their instructing abilities, they don't have the passion for it. I don't even know why the fuck they do it. We've had conversations about it. JB is an amazing, 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 amazing instructor. He has a passion for what he does. His dad's been with the company. I think he said like almost like 30 something years. I think he's 27, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago. So, um, JB has been with the company. They move him around a lot when they need him, where he goes where they need him. Um, I can't say enough great things about JB Jackson or his father. Um, that would be the only way I would consider putting somebody behind the wheel, because I trust him. He trained me for a week and a half, and I still use stuff that he taught me to this day. And he'll be the first one to tell you if you go over there and say, "Oh, text some other trucker, send me over here." He'll be the first one to tell you I struggled with backing. Me and my friend Alfredo, we could not keep this fucking trailer straight to save our fucking lives. We really couldn't. And now I can blindside back all day with the rest of them. And people pull out their cameras and they hoot, they holler, they honk, they do shit to try to distract you because you're swift. I don't give a fuck. I actually have a shirt that says "fuck the haters." I love when I wear it because it's just a. I like wearing shirts to where I can say what I want without actually saying it, which is why I wear shit like this. But when I wear the "fuck the haters" shirt and I slam that shit in there like I've been doing it since I was born, getting out wearing a shirt like that, or I have one that says "see you next Tuesday." That's my way of saying cunt, and it says SOB because that's what I scream behind the wheel. I call them "see you next Tuesday, sorry ass looking motherfuckers." My daughter made a nice shirt and it has a smiley face on it, but on the back it has a skeletal middle finger. Oh, I love when I wear that one. But it is a pride thing. I mean, you do take pride and hone in on what you learn, and you continue to learn, and you continue to grow. But it really starts with your trainers. And for me to grow as a mentor, I have a lot to offer people. There is not shit that I haven't been through. Anything and everything that could possibly fucking go wrong, I've been through it. I actually didn't post the video, but I've had more blowouts than I could. I was 60, no, I was 58 miles away from my fucking drop the other day. I was pushing my clock like I always do. Blowout. Bam. I said, well, at least I know Love's is right up the road. Homie came in 20 minutes, had me taken care of. I was in, I was out. Um, I mean, just all kinds of things. My axle seal in one of my other trucks was Oregon, going down the mountains. It was before I started learning really how to use the Jake brakes and stay off the engine brakes. It was cold and it was raining, and I look and my fucking axles are on fire, my tires are on fire, and I'm like, oh fuck, what do I do? Like, the list goes on and on. I am an amazing instructor. I'm an amazing teacher. I am very patient with people. As long as you can take my sarcasm, my cursing, I won't change who I am for anybody that gets on the truck. I won't. I will never conform. Fuck that. It's a free country. The only thing that I ask is that we don't talk religion, we don't talk politics, and it, that's it. And that was actually part of the mentoring thing, which I liked. And those are two topics that me and mentor stupid number one, he wouldn't shut the fuck up about. I don't think he paid attention to the same mentor class that I took. But keep the conversation like we can kick it, we can be friends. Your off time is your off time. My off time, I really need to be left the fuck alone because I do have other businesses and other ventures that I'm working on. But outside of being trained by JB Jackson in Corsicana and getting his seal of approval, I just can't see myself doing it. I only signed up to be a mentor to train my brother, and after the accident, I had told him right away, dude, you're gonna have to find another mentor. And it winded up being that he started Swift this morning, and so next week he would have went to Corsicana and would have been finishing and getting his CDL the week that I'm leaving for Cabo. So I was like, okay, he's not gonna want to wait a week. Like I was trying everything to get out of mentoring my brother. One, because he's my brother, I'm not going to treat him any different. I would introduce myself to him as, hey, my name is T. I'm also known as Texas Mother Trucker. I'm going to be your mentor. Here's a rule sheet. I want you to sign this. If there's something that you have a question about, like, I have a whole speech prepared for people that would come onto my truck. I live a certain way. I'm very tidy. I'm very clean. I'm very neat. But the biggest thing is I just have to know that you can keep this fucking truck straight. I can teach you everything that you need to know, but I just have to know that somebody that I trust wholeheartedly will give you your sample approval. So to answer your question, will I ever take on a student? I will consider taking students if you go to Corsicana and get JB Jackson's approval. I will consider it. I'm already approved as a mentor. I can start taking students now if I want to. But I'm going to take you through the mountains. It's not really snowing right now, but I would take you through the snow. I'm going to take you through all kinds of terrains, teach you how to do your tire chains, all the shit that I didn't get taught. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, you know why it's probably doing it? Because of my truck. Hold on. Is that any better? When my truck turns on, I think it might switch all over to Bluetooth. All right. Well, anyways. Okay, yeah. So when my truck is on, it probably switched all over to the Bluetooth in the truck, and I can hear on the Bluetooth. Okay, so it was the truck. I'm sorry. It's what I can hear on the Bluetooth in the truck, but like when I talk to my family, they can't hear me, so I just wear my AirPods. But I will consider students is what I was saying. If you happen to go to Corsicana and you get instructed, ask to be instructed by JB Jackson. Um, and if he gives his stamp of approval, I will consider it. I'm already an approved mentor. They're already trying to seat me with students, but I only did it really for my brother. And I even tried talking him out of that. I'm kind of glad the amphetamine thing worked out. Well, I mean, it sucks because Swift is obviously the better company. Um, and he was a writer with me for months, and I mean, he really enjoys Swift. But waiting another 90 days to do a hair follicle test over a medication that he actually needed at the time it's just, I mean, he's ready to go to work. Um, so that's the short answer to the question. That's what I was saying when y'all couldn't hear me. If you go to Corsicana, ask for the instructor, JV Jackson. Let him know that you are wanting to be trained by him. Now, I can't guarantee that any of that will happen. He'll probably kill me if he sees this. But it's the only way that I will consider taking on any mentors is if you get his seal of approval. And you have to be willing to understand that I'm not going to change who I am. I will not change the way I talk. I don't convert. I've never conformed ever in my life. Like, even before I was a baby having babies, they kicked me out of school and tried to send me to a mothers to be program. I had tattoos and piercings when I was 14 years old. I just don't give a fuck. But I'm a damn good instructor. I always have been. I know that I can do it. It's just my own control issues and just knowing some of the drivers that came out of my class that got in these trucks and these mentors trucks and just started wrecking out all over the place. I am very real, and I will always praise you. I am very sarcastic, so you have to be able to get my sense of humor. But when it comes to teaching people, I am very patient. I explain a lot of things, and I think that I would be a great mentor. It's a personal thing for me. I have a lot of control issues, so me putting somebody who doesn't have a lot of driving experience behind the wheel of a truck and me being worried, even out here on my own, I still get worried about getting hit. I pay attention to where I park even more so now. Um, I'm still dealing with a lot of aftermath from being hit while being parked in a very safe place. So just give me some time. But if you can go to Corsicana, and if you're lucky enough to get JV, he's the best instructor they have, and he signs off on you, then I will consider it. But I am approved to be a mentor, so technically I can't take on students. Um, I'm just not ready at this time. So that is that, y'all. I need to go home and do my Botox. I keep forgetting to put it in my refrigerator, so I do my own Botox and filler. If my face is falling, I'm starting to look my age. That's not cute. Anyways, I love you all. Thank you for all the support. Haters, you know I love you the best because you just keep my ratings going up. Um, if you're interested in checking out my other ventures, um, the other YouTube channel is called Dysfunctionally Functional, and it has my name there, so you'll see it. It has my picture. And if you're driving and you just want something to listen to, it's very real. I talk about real topics. I'm not funny. I'm not sarcastic. We're talking about real topics and situations that happened to me, stuff from my book, stuff that's happening in real life. You can download my podcast wherever whichever avenue you download podcasts from. The audio version of my book is almost done. It's going to be in October though. I finally chose a person to do it. I don't have time to do it myself, but I went through a lot of audition tapes and finally found somebody who could relate and tell it the way it needs to be told. So eventually you'll be able to listen to it if you want to. But on that note, y'all, I am going to finish my dinner. It takes me 5 years to eat. Who are you? Like, you always send alligators. I don't know why. I mean, I am from the bayou. Yeah, well, right now it's pretty good outside here. It's like 86 ish. The other day I was in St. George, Utah, just day before yesterday. It was 118 fucking degrees outside. I said, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" And then I went to Phoenix, and it was only like 93, and I was like, so based on, I'm not a meteorologist or anything. I'm just saying, based on the moons that we've had thus far, the changes that have happened with the moons that we've had thus far, and the weather patterns that I am seeing in the regions that I drive in, we're in for a hell of a hurricane season. So y'all start stocking up. I'm just saying. And off the record, Swift, I am toting a lot of the hurricane supplies from the north to the south. A lot of wood. A lot of lumber comes from the north, Washington, Oregon area. I have been toting a lot more wood, a lot more water. This whole trailer is filled with canned goods, non-perishables. So everybody's gearing up for storm season, and I'm just saying, I'm not a meteorologist. I'm an empath. There's a difference, but I think we're in for some serious storms. So gotta be careful out there. I love you all. Peace out. Good night. I hope I caught y'all up on everything. And for those of you who catch this later, drop your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for mentioning your book on audio. Yes, that's been very important because I listen to audiobooks when I drive. And a lot of truck drivers were like, "Oh, we want the book, but can we listen to it?" So I'm very glad that I finally found somebody that'll get that done. It's gonna take her about till October. So I told her, don't rush. My story is very hard. It has made people physically ill, and they've had to step away and come back. But the journey over the next three books, you get to see my ups and my downs. This book that I'm writing right now, the second book, is really hard. In the first book, my dad is the villain. In the second book, I'm the villain. I go through a lot of tumultuous stuff. I do a lot of really crazy shit in life. And yeah, you just got to stay tuned. And then you're going to be wondering, why the fuck is my husband still around? I still can't answer that question. It's My life is obviously worthy of a New York Times bestseller and now a podcast and a Netflix special. So there you go. So check it out if you want, and stay tuned if you're waiting for the audio version. It'll be out mid-October. So that's the updates for now. Until then, you can catch me on my podcast. And if there's any topics that you want me to cover that don't have anything to do with trucking that you feel are controversial and that people aren't talking about, that's really what I talk about in Dysfunctionally Functional. Because I've just always really been that bitch that just I bring out the taboo stuff. Like, we should be able to have open door policies about a whole bunch of things, and so that's really what I talk about on on my channel. So follow me over there, subscribe, like, share, hate, love, comments. I don't care. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.